right, friends, so we are going to dive into some area and perimeter artwork, and you are going to need graph paper for this. So if you don't have graph paper available to you, please let me know. And you can either do it in your math journal. If you do, you might want to rip the pages out, especially if you have a longer name. Or you can print off the graph paper template that I've given you with your assignment. So with your graph paper, you are also going to need some coloring supplies, whether they're crayons or colored pencils. I would reserve markers of any color. Highlighters, these should be reserved for your perimeter so that they make your perimeter of your shape or the distance around your shape stand out. We're here just in case I have diagonal lines, but I don't think I'm going to have any diagonal lines today. I'm going to try to do it without them. So what you are going to do is you are going to create your name on this graph paper, and you are going to be determining the area and the perimeter of each of your letters that you draw. Now, because area has to be measured in square units, you need to make sure that you're not using any round edges. You need to only be using straight lines to make your letters. So your letters are going to look a little bit more like Minecraft-y, right? They're going to be box letters rather than having smooth round lines. Okay, I'm going to start writing my name. You can decide how big you want it to be. If you have a really big name, you might need a couple papers taped together, or you can make your letters smaller. My name's pretty short, and so I can make my letters bigger and still take up a lot of my paper. So I'm going to make my L. Okay, now my A is going to be tricky. I could do an uppercase A so that I don't have any round lines, but if I do that, my diagonal line is, my A is going to be pretty, my diagonal line would be pretty squashed, and I don't really want a squashed A. So I'm actually going to try to do a lowercase a, but only using straight lines. So we'll see how this goes. There's going to be some problem solving involved. Let's see. Start like this, I think. And be kind of square-like. Smaller, apparently. Let's see, I think I want it a little bit skinnier. I definitely recommend doing this in pencil so that you can problem solve, especially if you get to some trickier letters. That's like that little tail, you know, if I were to, okay. And then I just need the inside of my A. So I think we'll do something like that. And there we have it. That kind of looks like an A. Not too shabby, I'll take it. Now I need to do an E, and I actually think I'm going to do an uppercase E this time because I kind of like the look of having lower and uppercase letters. And I want a skinny middle. And then I want a bigger, there's my E. And I'm gonna do a big L dropping down like this, I think. There we go. Okay, and now this line got a little bit wonky. Now I have my name planned out. So do everything in pencil first. Again, if you need more than one piece of paper to tape together because you have a really long name, go for it. You get to make your letters as big as you want. It will be more work because you have to count up what you drew. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight all of my perimeters in different colors. They don't have to be different colors, but I'm going to highlight my perimeters. And the perimeters are the distance around. And I would do this with a highlighter or a marker. It's totally up to you which one. It's something to make your perimeter pop. I'm going to do my other L in green. And let's see, I think I'm going to do my inside letters in pink. Pink perimeter. Okay, now that I might, oh, almost. Now that I have my perimeters done and highlighted, I'm actually going to start calculating the perimeter of my first letter. And I have a little piece of white paper that I just cut out. I'm going to glue it down here. You do not have to do this. I'm just kind of doing this so that my writing stands out to you a little bit more. But this is where I'm going to start recording my perimeter and my area. So you do need to record your perimeters and areas somewhere, but it doesn't have to be on a little sheet of white paper in the corner of your artwork. Okay, it could be on a math page somewhere. So I need to determine the area and the perimeter of each of my letters in my name. So my perimeter, I know, is my total distance around my shape, right? It's what I highlighted. And so I need to know the length of all of these sides that I highlighted. So I'm going to go around and label them. 1, 2, 3. I'm just going to say they're units because I actually am, it says that they're 1/4 inch, but I'm just going to call them units for right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units. 1, 2, 3 units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 units. Okay, and now all I have to do is add those together and I'll have the perimeter of my first L. So here's what I'm going to do. I actually think I'm going to make this my perimeter sheet and then I'll make a separate one for area. So the perimeter of my first L is 13 units plus 3 units plus 10 units plus 5 plus 3 more, and finally these 8 units along the bottom. And if I add all of those together, let's see, 13 and 10 is 23. 23 plus 3 would be 26. 26 plus 5 would be 31. 31 plus 3 would be 34. And 34 plus 8 would be 42. So 42 units is the perimeter of my L. Okay, now I need to do that for my A. And this one I'm going to show you, I won't do my E and my L because you're going to get the idea. But for my A, I wanted to show you, I do need to count this. Even though it's inside my, even though technically it looks like it's inside my shape, it's actually still defining what my shape looks like. And so I actually need to label this and count these lines. Any line I highlight is part of my perimeter. So this is going, my pencil is getting very, very dull. 2 units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units. 2 units. 2 units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units. 1, 2. Whoa, I had a lot of 2s in here. And I almost forgot. 1, 2, 3. 3, 2, and 2. Whew, I have a lot of small numbers to add up for my A. I need to start writing smaller. Okay, I'm going to grab a pen because my pencil is going very dull. So the perimeter of my A is 6, 6, 6. So 6 plus 6 plus 6. 2, 2, 2. Let's see, how many 2s do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wow. 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2. And then I have 2 3s and a 10. Whew, that's a lot of mental math. And you know what, if you don't feel like doing mental math, of course you can do the math on paper. So I know that 3 6s are 18. And then I'm just going to count by twos. 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30. And then 30 plus 6 would be 36, plus 10 would be 46 units. I'm just putting a U because I ran out of space. And I would do that for each of my letters. And you are trying to determine the perimeter of all your letters. Once you've done that, you are now going to determine the area of all your letters. So if I have another sheet of paper, I'm going to glue this one down and I'm going to title it area. And the area of my first L is going to be all of the squares inside, right? So I know that I have 13 squares going down this way because I labeled my side already. Woohoo! So 13 squares, 13 more would be 26. 13 more would be 39. And then I just have to add on some 3s. So I have, right in this section, I had 39 squares. So 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54. So the area of my L is 54 square units, not just units anymore. I'm actually counting the squares. And once I've done that, then I get to go and I get to color it in however I desire. I think I'm going to go with orange for now. And I'm going to color in my area. You can make it dark, you can make it light. I've had kids make it rainbow area. I've had kids do designs inside their area. I do not care one bit as long as your area is colored to show the difference between area and perimeter. And there you have it. I would do the same thing for my A, my E, and my L. I'm finding the perimeter of all my letters, and I'm finding the area of all my letters. If you attempt to do diagonal lines, you're probably going to want a ruler or a straight edge of some sort. And I apologize if you can hear all of these sirens. They are really going crazy outside my window. You are going to want to line it up so that if you cut a square in half, you truly cut it in half, right? Because if I'm counting my squares, I know what that is. I know that that's half of a square. And then I know that if I have another half of a square and I put those two together, that would be one whole square unit. So if I have a letter that has this diagonal in it, then right here I have 1/2, 2/2, that'd be a whole, and then I have 2 more halves, that'd be another whole square. Don't do a diagonal like that, because look at this little tiny space. I don't know what fraction that is. I don't know if that's a quarter. It's definitely not a quarter. That's more probably like an 1/8 or a 1/16. So if you are going to do any diagonal lines, I suggest using a ruler so that you can really truly cut the squares in perfect halves, because halves we can actually add up.